Well, greetings all. We're coming at you from the camper van. We are still camped out in the mountains of New Mexico. It's been very nice being in the trees and in cooler temps at the higher elevation. Although I think we're at a little over 8,000 feet, I do experience an impact on my breathing. I get lightheaded, out of breath, headaches. It takes me a good couple weeks to kind of get acclimated, and we were in it for a couple weeks at about 6,000 feet, and it seems right around the 7,500, 8,000 feet mark is where I start to feel it. I know everyone's different. So dealing with that, so if you hear me huffing and puffing, that's why. Anyway, we'll give you a little glance around camp here. It really has just been beautiful weather, cool, comfortable, sunny, clear. So we'll give you a shot around camp here. So this is camp here, plenty of shade. I got the van in partial shade. Actually, it's mostly shade. I get about a few hours a day of sun on the solar panels, which is about all I need. So otherwise, it's really nice to have this van shaded, and it just keeps it that much cooler. We are amongst the ponderosa pines, a lot of junipers here, some oaks. So I've got my hammock strung up between these two junipers. The spot stays shaded pretty much all day. And I've got the hummingbird feeder up over there. So I am doing this video as actually kind of a test. I really don't want to do a whole video on the problems I've been having with my camera filming setup. I have been going through probably about a month of battling microphone issues. So without getting too much into ranting, I'll just explain, in my opinion, what makes a good video as far as a camera setup, and that is clear footage. Oh, there's a hummingbird right there. Clear footage, but it also needs to be stable. And these days, most cameras have some sort of built-in stabilization feature. And that can be better or worse depending on what camera you're using. Sometimes that auto stabilization comes out very kind of warbly and warped. It's not super shaky and jittery, which is hard to watch, but it does this weird kind of warping thing. And what I'm filming on right now, I get this question a lot. I've been getting a lot of compliments on how clear and good the video is. I've been using an iPhone 13 Pro, which has 3 lenses on it, a standard lens, a zoom lens, and a wide lens. So I'm on the standard now, and you can go out wide, or you can zoom in. So it's very nice. So again, back to the 3 things. You need clear footage, stable footage, and then also good audio. And with my type of filming, I'm usually filming outside. And usually with phone cameras, the slightest bit of wind just kills your audio. So you usually have to use an external mic, which is what I'd been doing. And then I purchased, it was a pretty good purchase, a good $250, $300 for a DJI wireless mic setup that I bought specifically for this phone. It's got a special adapter that plugs into the lightning port on this iPhone. But it turns out that they have problems with that lightning port adapter. It's a known issue with the company. I've emailed them and explained to me why it happens. And their solution is to just use a wire. And it just makes your setup that much more inconvenient. The whole reason why I bought it was to be able to use that adapter, and then it doesn't work. Okay, so we're in the van here. I'm still using the iPhone to film. I have a bigger camera that I use for still photography a lot that can do video with, and again, it doesn't have the best stabilization. That's why I don't use that camera for most of my video. But yeah, I'll have to switch up so I can show you the phone that I use and the mic adapters and mic and everything. But anyway, this is my little office setup in the van. I use a MacBook Pro. I've been using Macs for a while for video editing. My first videos that I did were on the old white iMacs. And then that died on me, and I switched to a PC laptop, and that didn't last long. The editing software was just, I couldn't find anything that was usable. The MacBook Pros, you can get Final Cut or iMovie is free. The Final Cut Pro costs, I think, $200 for lifetime use. So that's what I use, Final Cut Pro X on this MacBook Pro, and I've been really happy with that software. Yeah, I'll show you the camera setups. This is the Sony camera that I mentioned. This is the Sony ZV1 Mark II, and great little camera on paper. The stabilization is just, for me, not usable. It doesn't look good. The benefit of this camera, what really drew me to it, is the built-in microphone is great. Now, this is my other camera here, the Canon, that is a keeper. I'll probably hold on to this. This is really great for still photography. I use that mostly for stills. That's why I got it. I was using it for video for a while, but with an external mic put on it, which I'm using right now, so I'll try to show that in the next clip. It just is a very bulky setup. It's heavy to hold up in front of you, and just not really the best for the type of video I usually do. So this seemed like a really good remedy. It's super small. It's got a fixed lens. When you turn it on, the lens comes out, and it's got a zoom. You know, you can go wide angle into a decent zoom. But again, the stabilization is just not usable. The audio is amazing. It comes with its own little wind muff here that slides on. The mic's up top, and you can set the direction you want it to pick up from. And with the wind muff, it really is great. But without good stabilization, it's just not usable for me. So this is being returned. Fortunately, I have plenty of time for the return window, and I've already been approved, so that's going back. And this is the DJI wireless mic setup. This is the first version they made. I don't know if the second version remedies the problem I'm having, but it works great when you have it plugged in wired. So the way this works is you've got this little receiver, and that usually attaches to your camera with a little clip, and then you need a wire to go from that into the mic input on the camera, and then you take the little transmitter and you can clip that to your shirt, and they have little wind muffs that remedy the whole wind problem. So again, on paper is a very good solution, and it still is. I'll probably keep these, but the big bummer is I'm not able to use it the way I want to use it, because it's advertised. See, this has a lightning port adapter. This can slide out. You can put a USB-C or just a clip to attach it to a camera when you do it wired. But this plugs directly into the port on my phone, and that would make a very easy, compact setup. No wires hanging. I wouldn't need an extra mount on top of the phone to attach this to, because it just plugs right into the side of the phone. But according to DJI, there's some issue with my iPhone in particular. Even though that's the case, they don't mention it in any of their advertising, so I purchased it. I'm beyond the return window, and it's unusable with this port, with the function that I want to use it for. It makes this really high-pitched squeal noise that just, the audio is not usable. So that was a big bummer. I battled this forever because it's somewhat intermittent, so I would think it was working, and then go out and do a full day's filming, come back and check the footage, and it's all botched. So I just get frustrated even talking about it. So anyway, that's a whole different story with this. But it comes with this cool case that recharges everything. And then you can plug this in to keep the case charged. Very convenient. And there's two transmitters. So if I ever did like an interview with someone, they could have one clipped to their shirt and I can have one. And pretty professional setup. But it doesn't work with my iPhone. Will work with this with a cable. So anyway, I'm going to flip around and start filming with this camera to show you my iPhone setup. Okay, so now I'm filming on the Canon camera, and one of the drawbacks of this Canon camera with the lens I have, it doesn't go very wide. So to be able to show my desk, I'm like leaning up against the back wall of my van on the other side to be able to get everything in frame. So that's why I don't use this camera a lot with the van thing, having the wide angle. They do make wide angle lenses for this, but again, the stabilization is not that good on them. So yeah, it seems like the phone has been the best deal for me when it works. So I did have to get the port repaired on this iPhone. That cost me a couple $100. And yeah, went through having to replace this mic. Again, just a string of bad luck. A lot of things went bad on me coincidentally all at once. And then the DJI mic that I purchased not working out was just kind of the icing on the cake. So this is pretty much the setup that I'm going to go back to using. It's, you know, a little bulky with that big mic. Now the mic is actually pretty small underneath that. They call that a dead cat or a wind muff or windscreen. And that's the secret right there. That keeps that wind noise, that rumbling, canceling out all of your speech and everything. It does the trick when it works. So again, I had to replace that. Those are reasonably priced. I think they're about $80 these days. And then yeah, you need the special wire here, an adapter to go from a 3.5 millimeter audio cable to a lightning connector on the iPhone. And then yeah, the benefit of this iPhone here, the Pro version, it's got the 3 different lenses, which really I've been very pleased with the footage. So this is what I'm going to be going back to. Again, the Sony camera that I thought would be a replacement for the phone setup is just not working, and then the Canon that I'm filming on is just not the best for my style. I really like this camera that I'm filming on more for still photos, time lapses and that type of thing. So that's my setup there, and I'm going to go ahead and address one more thing that I get asked about a lot. So I also have some action cameras. I have been using GoPros for many, many years, and I despise the company GoPro, even though I still use one of their cameras. There's a trend with electronics these days where stuff gets released and they just don't work properly. And it's like the buyers, the users, or the beta testers to report all the bugs. Sometimes there's firmware updates that can correct the issues, but GoPro is notorious to just moving on to their next model. So when you get in touch with them and say, I'm having problems with this is a GoPro Hero 7, their solution is to get the next model, get the 8, get the 9, get the 10. So they never really fix the issues on their cameras. They just release a new camera and expect you to buy a new one. They did replace a couple. This is like my 3rd replacement of the 7, but the replacements have the same issues. The GoPros freeze up. That's the biggest problem. And usually when I'm using these, I have it in a case, so when it freezes up, the solution, according to GoPro, and it works, you have to remove the battery and put the battery back in. Super inconvenient because it's an action camera. It's supposed to be ready to catch the action. Then you have to pull it out of the case and remove the battery. So this is typically used as a dash cam for me. That's the least valuable footage that I film, so that's where it's ended up as default. And then I had recently got another DJI product. This is the Action Camera 4, and this doesn't freeze up. It's really great for not having the problems that the GoPro has. So the way I do my driving footage is, this is my dash cam. I have that facing forward out the windshield, and then I have this one on my dashboard facing me. And that's how I do that picture-in-picture where you're seeing the road ahead of me, and then a little bubble on the bottom left corner, you see my face while I'm driving. I have these both recording at the same time, and then sync them up when I'm editing to where it's, what you're seeing ahead, I'm talking about at the same time. So I've gotten really used to that as part of my format. I really enjoy doing that, and I know a lot of you enjoy it. So that's how I do that. That's the little secret. In editing, you're basically doing like a picture-in-picture. You layer the two video footage over each other, and then you shrink down the one that's on me and you move it into the corner, and it's a pretty easy editing process. It's a little time consuming finding the footage and matching them up from the two cameras, but I enjoy doing it. So that's how I do that. So that's it. I'm going to try to put a video together with this, and hopefully all the audio and video all works out at the same time. So yeah, the takeaway I guess is this Sony ZV1 Mark II, I would not recommend. This is going back. I'll leave a bad review, or I'll leave a review on Amazon where I purchased it from. Fortunately, they have a good return policy, so that's $800 that'll be back in my bank account. And then, yeah, the issue with these DJI mics, I'm going to have to decide if I want to. I did purchase these through Amazon, but I'm beyond the 30-day return window, so I need to go through DJI, and they're being pretty reluctant to just refund my money and let me return it. I don't know if they're going to come up with a firmware update that fixes the issue with their iPhone adapter, but what they're telling me is the solution is to not use that adapter and just use a wire, which defeats the whole purpose on why I bought it. I wanted to use that adapter for simplicity, clean, compact setup, not have this big giant mic on the top of my phone. I just have the little receiver on my shirt with the wind muff, So anyway, that's what I'm going through. That has really been the reason I've been battling this for almost 2 months now. I had high hopes of really upping my video game and posting more videos. Like I said, I've got probably three or four full-length videos worth of footage that I have no audio. I could do a voiceover, but I'm not super into voiceovers. I just don't feel like it portrays that in the moment feel. What I'm saying over the footage is like an afterthought, and who knows, I may try to make some videos out of that footage, but for now I'm going to post this. Any feedback is appreciated if the audio and video is looking and sounding good with just using this iPhone and mic. let me know, and I hope to be back to my regular upload schedule and regular videos soon. I appreciate all your guys' positive support. It means a lot to me, and I really do hate to be away for a certain amount of time without any videos. My parents and family watch these videos, and they miss when I don't upload as well. So yeah, I just appreciate your patience and your continued support. Appreciate you guys very much. We'll see you soon. Peace.